Hey, y'all. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Mission for Mental Health. I am your host, Jackie Robinson. Hey, I'm so happy to be here today. As always, y'all, I be trying to get them little naps in before I get on here with y'all. And I'm always like so exhausted. But as soon as I hit the live button instantly, I instantly pop into like hype mode. Like I get really hyped, and I'm really hype about my guest that we have on here today. I was watching the news earlier, and I want to give a shout out to Stockbridge, City of Stockbridge Police Department. City of Stockbridge Police Department. I want to give them a shout out today simply because they said on the news that they are addressing the mental health concerns in the Henry County area, in the Stockbridge area, and they now have a mental health professional who is out riding with their officer. So give them a hands clap with that. I'm very, very excited about that. I always believe that, it's not 100% the police's job to interact or to deal with the mental health community, because they enforce the law. They don't typically enforce mental health issues. So to send a professional out with a law enforcement officer, I think that's great. So I wanted to give that shout out to City of Stockbridge Police Department while I was thinking about it. So yeah, I got a great show for y'all today. I hope you're excited. I'm excited. This is a good girlfriend of mine. Her name is Vicinda Crawford. We call her Cindy. I'm going to bring her on the screen because she is sitting in the waiting room. Look, it's so funny because I can see y'all before I bring y'all on, and she's just sitting in the waiting room. So I am ready to bring her on, and I hope y'all love her. You gonna love her. You gonna love her. Hold on. Let me add her in. Let me change that up. Hey, girlfriend. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing well.
So glad to have you on. How are you today?
I am doing wonderful. I want to thank you for allowing me to come on your podcast. I am very grateful for this opportunity. So let's make it happen. And I'm going to be turn up with you.
Yeah, you know how I do. You know how I come into the room. Hey, y'all. You know how I come into the room loud for no reason, just because I can do that. So let me, you guys, a couple folks on here saying happy Wednesday. I know, right? Let's see what happens. See what happens after 50. You get to wear readers. Happy Wednesday, Nicole. Happy Wednesday, Lady Lonnie. I'm so glad that you guys are on. So, I like an interactive show. So you guys make sure that you leave comments, ask questions, all that good stuff. We're going to address them. So this is my good girlfriend, Cindy. I am going to read you her bio, and then I'm going to tell y'all how her and I met. Okay. Y'all ready? Here we go. All right. So let me turn my phone off, because y'all know I'm still new. Sometimes I can be ghetto on this thing. I'm trying to be professional. I'm still a work in progress. Okay, Vicinda M Crawford, also known as Cindy Crawford, is a retired law enforcement officer with over 28 years of experience. That's a long, hold that thought, y'all. Y'all know this pollen is messing with a sister, so hold that thought. I had to put a mirror next to me, y'all, so y'all don't be like, her nose is nasty. Okay. She has over 28 years of law enforcement experience. While in law enforcement, she worked in various divisions throughout the police department. She wanted to make the most of her career and help the community from different perspectives other than the regular police patrol. She worked on the COPS unit, which is also known, what's called community-oriented policing section, but we call it COPS. That's what y'all always want to know what COPS was. Now y'all know. COBRA, street level undercover prostitution. Y'all, she was hoeing on the down low. She was hoeing on the low. Hoeing on the low. But it was for the department. She wasn't to make no money. Documented fraud joint task force, crime analysis division, and administrative lieutenant. She moved up the ranks from patrol officer to acting chief of police. She wanted to take her health back and lose so much needed weight. Yeah, she ain't had that much weight to lose, but okay. Nah, she had gained a couple pounds. She started her weight loss journey by walking and eating a healthy diet. She later added Total Life Changes products that changed her weight loss journey. So look, if y'all are looking for I'm gonna plug you right quick. She does that total life changes TLC. If you're looking for your liquid vitamins and things and your teas and all that, she is the one for you. I will give you her information if you would like to have it. She loved her weight loss of now she's down 40 pounds, y'all. She down 40 pounds. She down 40 pounds. She is a diva with this thing. She's always been a diva though. The products made her feel really good. At 48 years old, she went back to college to obtain a degree teaching young adults. When she was hired as an adjunct professor at Atlanta Metropolitan State College, teaching in the social sciences department. So she went back and got her degree, y'all. Never too late, right? It ain't never too late. The dream became a reality. At 54 years old, she wrote and published her first book, Leeds Press. She published her first book with Leeds Press Corps. That's the publishing company. She was not only a military dependent as a child, y'all ain't gonna believe this. She is a veteran that served her country in the what? United States Marine Corps. Does she look like a Marine, y'all? She was a Marine, y'all. She was a Marine.
Yes.
That's right. She received an honorable discharge from the Marine Corps. Vicinda was featured in the December 2003 Jet magazine. She received a declaration in DeKalb County, interviewed by several local television networks for her act of kindness when she donated a kidney to a stranger. And we're going to talk about donating that kidney to a stranger. They built a strong brother and sister bond. I think she's frozen. Either she's frozen or I'm frozen, but she'll be back. Her educational background includes an associate's degree in business administration from the American Intercontinental University, a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from St. Leo, a master's degree in public safety administration from Columbus State University. Vicinda is a proud mother of wonderful children, Courtney, Ashley, Aria, Cortland, and Gia, and 4 amazing grandchildren, Landon, Layla, Gianna, and Noble. Okay, she has to jump back on, y'all. So I'm just going to chat until she gets back on. She enjoys hanging out with her grandchildren, running, traveling, weight training, boot camp workout, watching sports, and reading. So she has a long bio, y'all. Y'all give her some hand claps. She's going to be rejoining us very, very soon. Where she is living now, they had a humongous storm just come through. So her internet has been popping on and popping off. But we're gonna get her back on, and in the meantime, y'all just get me. Y'all just get to roll with me. So while she's coming back on, I'm gonna tell y'all how we met. So I was a rookie, and y'all like this shirt? Living my best life. That's what I try to do, y'all. I try to live my best life every single day. I was a rookie, and she was not a supervisor just yet, but she had no problem telling me that she was getting ready to become a supervisor. I was at the gas pumps. So back when I came on to the department, we didn't have take-home cars. Like the officers now are very, 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 very privileged because they get to ride home, they get free gas. And after every watch or every shift, you had to go fill up, you had to go put gas in them cars. After you do your check with your reports, you got to go fill up them cars. So I go to fill up my little car, my little old beat down, the rookie car. And I see her at the pumps, but she ain't in no rookie car. She ain't a fancy car. And that's because she was working narcotics vice at the time. And that was my first time seeing her. I was like, oh my gosh, there are Black girls that work here. And she told me that she is getting ready to be a sergeant. And so she did become a sergeant, and she said, she just texted me out. She says her internet. So hold on. She thinks she's going to try to log on with her phone. And so she did become a sergeant. And yeah, so that's how her and I first met. You know, she is the kind of person who's extremely, extremely giving. Y'all give me 2 seconds. I love y'all, but give me 2 seconds. Let me see if I can get her on. Hold on.
It might be the whole area because I heard something go pop.
She said she heard something go pop in her area. So yeah, so she's got some technical issues, y'all. And so she's trying to log on with her phone. But in the meantime, we're gonna try to work this thing out, because guess what? Things happen and we live, and that's what things do, you know. I don't want to fool with her while she's doing it. I got her on the phone, but I put her on mute so she can't hear what we're talking about. But she has such a giving soul, y'all. Her soul is so giving that when I was pregnant with London, you know, I never really had like a big baby shower or anything like that. I never had a big baby shower. And she gave me a big old baby shower when I was pregnant with London. She didn't have to do it. Funded it out of her own pocket. And it was absolutely beautiful. My belly was out to here. I got tons of gifts. And it was my first, you know, really big baby shower. So she has such a giving soul. I hope she can get back on, because y'all, her story is so amazing. And I really, really, really want her to be able to tell it, because I ain't got nothing else for y'all, but I got to try to come up with something. I got to try to come up with something in the meantime until she pops back on. Okay. All right, y'all. We cooking with fish grease. Here we go. What we looking like? She's on. She's frozen, but she's on. She's on there. She's on there. All right, y'all. Y'all come on. I need them prayer warriors. Let's get this thing going. It's only an hour. Come on, prayer warriors. You know how the enemy tries to come in when people are trying to heal. You know, healing is in the conversations, y'all. You know, I say it every week. Healing is in the conversations, and the enemy don't want no healing to happen. But guess what? We gonna put the devil under our feet and stomp. Boom, 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 boom. Because we gonna do this show.
Is it good? Frozen? Am I frozen still?
Nope, you good. You good. Okay, I read your bio, and then I told everybody how we met, and I was holding off because I don't know if you remember how we met. How we met was I was a rookie. I was a rookie, and you weren't. And I was telling them about how after every shift, you know, those of us that was on patrol, and I was in the rookie car, the old gray car, and how after every shift, how we have to go get gas. So we were at the pumps, and you were at the pumps too. And I was like, oh my God, Black girls do work here, right? So you introduced yourself to me, and I was telling them you weren't in no rookie car. You weren't even in no police car. You was in some kind of car, because I believe you were working narcotics at the time. I think you were working narcotics at the time.
Yes, I was a detective.
Okay. Well, you went in your car didn't look like my car. I know that. And then you told me, you said, I'm getting ready to be a sergeant. And I was like, oh, okay.
I was in Homeland Security. Yeah,
I'm about to say, I know that you weren't working. You didn't have no police car like I had a car, and you had a good car. I ain't had no good car. And you said, I'm getting ready to be a sergeant. And I was like, okay, you know, I didn't know I didn't know what that really meant. I didn't know the process or any of that at the time, but that's my first encounter with Miss Cindy Crawford. So, and then I told him about the baby shower that you gave me, the beautiful baby shower. So welcome back, girl. Welcome back.
Can't keep a good woman down.
I know, right?
They come back fighting.
Well, they was trying, but we got you. So we got some folks. Hi, beautiful ladies. Hi, Winona. How are you? Thank you for watching. Denise, happy Wednesday. Nicole is back. Miss Crawford, I'm very proud of you. You are an encouraging, blessed, and highly favored woman.
Oh.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You know that's true, right? Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday from Miss Lewis. I can't see. I don't have my glasses on. Dre. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Yep. DeLarge Lee. Did I say it right? I hope so. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. And he said, good evening, Cindy. And true, we're back. So let's just jump in. Okay. Since we had our issues. This is a mental health show. And reading your bio, you talked about in the beginning that you were interviewed by several news stations in Jet about donating this kidney. Can you tell us about how this kidney situation came about?
Yes. So I was a detective at this time, and the chief, well, the assistant chief, but he was over Homeland Security, needed an administrative assistant person. And the person that was there called me. I was a detective somewhere else and asked me would I look into doing administrative work again. And I was like, why? Something wrong down there? Why you running? Yeah. And he was like, no, I'm a sergeant. I want to get back on the road. I was like, okay. So I went down on a Tuesday and I met Chief Ector. And this was he was like, huh? Oh,
I love Chief Ector. I love him. I love him.
Yes. I just spoke with him the other day, him and his wife. They were in Africa visiting, but okay, back to the story. So I met him on a Tuesday. He's like, I need you to report here on Wednesday. I said, sir, that's tomorrow. They said, yeah, wrap all your stuff up and be here tomorrow. So I showed up on Wednesday and I was his assistant. So I had to drive him around and I was good for hitting curves just to make sure he was awake. But anyways, on that Friday, now I have known him Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday afternoon or evening, he ran out of the office in a rush and I didn't know where he was going because I wasn't driving him. And the administrative assistant told me that his son who was rushed to the hospital had kidney failure. And I was like, oh, okay. So I leave for the day. On Monday when I came back, his son had went for his dialysis and he didn't feel very well. So it was in DeKalb County. So I drove Chief over to his car. And on the way there, Chief Ector was saying, my son, yes, he went into kidney failure. He's looking for a kidney. So the family is getting checked out for the kidney. And so I was like, oh, you just need a kidney? I'll get checked out. If I have a kidney, I'll give him a kidney. He was like, yeah, okay.
Right. Like, you don't know us.
He's like, okay, thank you.
You don't know us like that.
We didn't talk about it anymore. We get to the location. I had to drop his son car. We went to go eat lunch. And that's when I was talking to his son because all three of us went. And he went to a high school not too far from where I went to high school. And so we're talking, and one of the girls that he was dating was a very good friend of mine when we were in high school. And I said, so you're the one that was running that girl crazy. And he started laughing. Long from that point, I took the wheel at that point. His dad had told him I was going to see if I was a match. When I got back, I called to get the information. I called Piedmont. I asked them what I needed to do. The first thing you need to do is see if you're a blood match. And I said I'm an O positive. I knew my blood, but I had to send that in. And a couple of weeks or so later, I got a phone call and she was like, you're a match. And I just paused. I'm a match. So I go downstairs and I'm whispering to my friend Raina. She was his administrator's assistant. I was like, girl, I'm a match. She said, match for what? I said, I'm a match. And she started screaming. And then Chief, he's 2 rooms over.
Right.
He ear hustling. So I hear y'all in there talk, what y'all talking about? And so she tells him, Cindy's a match to Merlin. And all I saw was the back of his head after he screamed, thank you, and left out. And so I had to go through a series of tests. And then I had to ask them, I was like, are y'all trying to take both of my kidneys?
Right.
Because they want to make sure psychologically you're sane and you're not doing this or you're not being coerced by him to do this.
Right. Because he's your boss.
Right. So I had to write up a lot of paperwork to get things started. And we move. I picked the date. You can make a decision not to do it, even laying on the table. And so I had to sit down and table of psychologists that asked me all these questions. And so October the 20th, yes, October the 20th, 2003, I donated a kidney to Merlin Ector. And he passed away 17 years later from something else. His biggest thing is he wanted to see his children graduate from high school, and they were in elementary school when I met him. So he was able to see them graduate from college.
Yeah. So you all ended up like brothers and sisters.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, you are Chief Ector's like adopted child.
And he lets me know that.
Yeah, you are his adopted child. Now, I in your bio, I read it, you have 5 kids. At the time, did you have 5?
I did. I had one. She was born in August of 2002. And I had the surgery October 2003. So, yes.
So how did you even consider in your thought process at all about, okay, no one really wants to go in and do a surgery if they just don't have to do it, but you have a whole tribe you got to take care of. You a single mama and you got a whole crew. Like, did you think about any of that, or did you just say, you know what, this is what God planned for me to do, I'm just gonna do it, whatever happens happens?
I did, of course, think about my children, especially the youngest one, and something happened. But I said, God gave us 2 kidneys, and one was obviously to give to someone who's in need. And I knew I would be okay. And I was asked, well, what if your children need a kidney? I said, then there's going to be another me out there that's going to give them one if necessary. Right. And it was a village. Everybody rallied around me to ensure everything. Raina, they took care of my younger 2 for 2 weeks while I recovered. Right. Everybody came and visited me. The FBI was sending me cards. It wasn't about that. It was to make sure he was okay. To make sure. And I met his wife the day before our surgery, and she just broke down in tears just to say thank you, because she didn't know me and I didn't know her, but it was just.
I told y'all she's a giver, y'all. I mean, I should have called this show something totally different, because she's constantly giving. Like I told y'all, this girl done gave a whole kidney to a stranger. She gave me a baby shower. She had to give me no baby shower. I mean, we was cool, but we wasn't besties. She, you know what I'm saying? Like, we've always had a good relationship and everything, but she's not somebody that I call every day. But this girl gave me a baby shower, y'all. So she's always been giving. So I commend you on that one. So, so moving forward, let's talk about the weight loss. You've always been a person that I've known to do these boot camps. Like this thing, I don't know if it's the Marine in you, but I've always known you to do these sunrise boot camps that I ain't never gonna go to, because you want to go at crack dark 30 in the morning while I'm still trying to sleep. So let's talk about what caused the weight gain first, and then we'll talk about the weight loss. What caused the weight gain?
Part of depression, my activation when I would go through something, or if my child or my children were going through something, I went and ate, and I craved sweets, and I just would eat. I really wasn't exercising, and I just let go. Mentally, initially, when everything happened back in 2015, I lost a lot of weight. And then as things transpired up to 2017, I went into the just eating. And other people was like, you really wasn't that big. But in my mindset, I had gained a lot of weight. And it's that mentality of being in sports, being in the Marine Corps, that body image was a big issue. And I battle with it now.
Right.
I still struggle.
So up and down weight is a thing for you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a thing for me too. I'm always up. Oh. I stays up. I mean, because I understand. I can, healing's in the conversation. We conversating, right? So, right. Yes, I am an emotional eater. The more I stress, the more I think, the more I eat. And then I feel bad that I ate all this food. Like I just ate Popeyes today. Now I'm over here with indigestion and mad because I ate the Popeyes, but then chicken thighs with that hot sauce and honey on it was like the slamming. It was the truth. It was great going down, but now I feel like crap because, you know, I didn't need it for one. And I could have had one thigh, but I ate two. So, you know, but I started thinking about things, and yes, it is a comfort thing. So I totally understand the up and down weight journey. I'm sure a lot of people on here understand the up and down weight journey, you know. Has it always been like that for you?
An issue, what, the weight? No, even after I had my fifth daughter, well, fifth child, fourth daughter, I actually went down to, in women's, 4'6". I lost all the weight.
Yeah.
In 1996, now I had a real bad knee injury, tore my ACL. Then I had another surgery in 2010 on my knees and had another surgery in 2012 on my knees. And gaining weight caused a lot of problems with my knees. And so that was also in the back of my mind that I had to get it off.
Right.
Because of that issue, then I have high cholesterol, I have to pay attention to that. I have bradycardia, I have a very slow heart rate where I could pass out on you. So I had to start thinking those things through. The biggest issue is the high cholesterol is kind of worrying me. And so when I start picking up the weight, they'll talk about that. So even when I lost all my weight, I'm still considered obese. And I finally had a doctor that say that is not based on a Black woman. So you're not, I have more muscle tone or more muscles in my body.
Right. Which causes more weight, which is heavier than, you know, right.
Yes. But I had a community that a friend of mine named Mondidra kept talking about Tata's fitness indicator. She's a retired nurse of 20 plus years.
Right.
So if I'm going to go in that hard and if I collapse or fall out, we got a nurse. Plus she's over 50 and you'll never know. She looked like she's about 25 years old.
What's the name of her gym again?
Tata's, Taddas. Tata's Fitness. Now she has the energy. So it was a community. It was a group of us. We were the orange team. It was me, Wandidra, and another lady named Monica. And then we brought Monica's sister in, Summer. So we used to show out. But
I saw you. I watched you guys. I watched you all from my bed on social media all the time. Yeah. So let's move back a little bit. And when we were talking prior to the show, we were talking about suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about an incident that happened with someone that you know that committed suicide. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Now this was he was a police officer, and I can remember conversations that we had because we were friends at first. Because there was several officers that were committing suicide within the county, and he made a statement. I love myself too much to even kill myself, and we just kind of laughed it off to that. So that was after we had became friends, but at that point we had a daughter together, and that was all up and down. So I hadn't, it's like, you're going to have to pay me child support. Or he'll say, well, that's not my child. So I had to go through that process with this person. So
which can be stressful too.
Very stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Showing up at court with her right there by me, and he walks right past. She looked just like him.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was some random lady sitting next to me, and she was like, is that the father of your daughter? Because if it's not, you might need to question it, because she looked just like him. So we go through the process, and we got to the point where the last court we had, I went in. I didn't have to be there, but I wanted to be there. And I went in and I told the judge, because he had another daughter. I said, I want the same amount of money that she's getting, because they were trying to give me about twice as much as she was getting, because he made more money at that time. I said, I didn't need that. I wanted it to equal what his other daughter was getting. You don't have to give me more. And so at that point, that was it. We were done. He was appreciative. He wanted to be in her life. Well, 2 weeks, I believe, after that, the paperwork came to his house. At this point, he had another child with his fiance. The paperwork came in. He found out later he had been drinking heavily. He had abandonment issues. He was adopted, closed adoption, didn't know his biological parents, and he was fighting abandonment because he used to always say, "You're going to leave me, you're going to leave me." And I was like, what are you talking about? So he had that of being, I guess this particular day, the papers came, he had been drinking and had gotten into an argument with his fiance at that time. And I believe at that point she was saying she was going to leave him, and he beat her physically really, really bad. And she ran out, screamed, left her child, went to go get help, found a friend that lived nearby, went back to the house. And she just, I just want my baby. I just want my baby. So he handed the baby to her and then slammed the door. And fast forward through that, he was in there held hostage. They had called some more administrators to come out there. Wow. I had got a phone call and they kept asking me, do you know who to call? Well, I knew his best friend's phone number. And I was like, call him. And they had been calling him. I started calling him. There was just no answer all day long trying to call him. Later, I found out the best friend had accidentally left his phone at home. He was at his child's, I think, football game all day. Go back. Some of the administrators went there. They got to the door. He pulled a gun on them. He handed his badge and his police gun to them. And then he pulled his personal gun on them and told them to get back. Get the F out my house, slam the door. I said, if this makes the news, it's not going to be good. Because he always talked about not wanting to be embarrassed or do something to embarrass him. And I remember seeing a fire truck coming because I had to go to the store. Turns out he had shot himself in the head around 6 something right after. I didn't think the story was going to air, but it aired right at the end of the news. And there was a police officer that told me years later that he remembered hearing what he thought was a gunshot, but they were doing some construction over there. And then Annette was the actual one that called me to check on me, but she let me know what had happened. Mm-hmm. So she stayed on the phone with me. That trauma, I kept blaming myself.
I was going to ask you, do you feel any type of responsibility? And I know how I've heard the story. I haven't heard your version because you and I never talked about it, and I never thought it would be appropriate to ask about it. And I've heard stories, so I know how cold people can be, and blamish. If she wouldn't have did this, if she wouldn't have did that. But that's not necessarily true. We can't stop people from doing what people, are gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was my question. Did you feel responsible at all for him killing himself?
Well, I did it first. I was like, well, what if I didn't ask for the child support? But he was at peace now. He was stressed out because of the amount initially. But his lawyer told him, based on my conversation and my testimony, it was lowered. He could well take care of that. That wasn't even an issue. He's made that statement to someone before all of that had transpired. It was the drinking, the abandonment, because I ended up speaking to his stepfather about it. And it was way more than just me. But I did take that for a long time. Like, what if I just didn't ask? I knew how to work more. I could just work more part-time jobs and take care of myself. He would have came around. Something to that effect is where I would. And a lot of people was like, Cindy, you can't do that. The guys were like, we have to pay child support. Why shouldn't he? But yes, he had a lot of children.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wasn't just yours, another one, right? It was some other ones out there. Yeah.
Yeah. So
and it could have been the totality. We would never really know what, I mean, if he didn't leave a note, we never really know what he was. We never really know what people are going through and how much they can take. We never really know.
And it's ironic because at first I was never going to do it. And that would have kept her out. But believe it or not, Sonia Porter was the one to push me to go at least get a blood test to show him you are 99.9% that child. So had I not done that, she would have, she was taken care of through the Social Security. So that helped. But just, I think she would rather have known her father because he loved the daughter that he did have an opportunity to be around. Oh, he was advocate for females. It's just he had that issue that he couldn't deal with, and he could be very violent. I heard he was never violent to me, but I heard he had been violent to some other. And the way that young lady, his fiance, looked, it was a pretty bad, and I think it was alcohol based, mental health. But I never did.
He had mental health, but we don't talk about that type stuff, right? In the police department, you definitely can't talk about the stuff being in the police department, and you definitely can't talk about that being a male. You tripping because you got baby mamas, boy, please, so I'm sure he was internalizing all of that because police officers, we're hard on each other. So I know that had a effect on your mental health and how you were able to sustain, but we also talked about codependency. And you were mentioning to me about being a codependent person. You want to talk about that?
Yes, I know you said I give.
You do.
You have to, as a codependent person, they don't know when to stop. A codependent will give to control, to get approval, to feel accepted. And who attacks a codependent person is a narcissist who takes. So they seek out those type of people. So in my codependency, I'm going to still be me. I am still a giver, but I have set boundaries. To heal from codependency is boundaries in the word.
Boundaries and the word
no.
Oh.
And if you someone was telling me they were looking to do some statistics about battered women that were murdered by their partner. If you start looking at their background, if they did a history on it or did a medical, I'm not making any claims, but they're looking at a lot of them were signs of codependency.
Right.
And they don't know when to leave.
When to leave. That could be your dissertation when you start your doctorate. I'm just throwing that out there. Okay. I'm just throwing that out there. So are you saying that you're diagnosed codependent, or is this something that you just learned through your journey, or is this a diagnosis?
It was a diagnosis by a psychiatrist years ago. It was before but I think if I sit down, they'll say I still got a touch of it, but I do know how to say no now. It's a thought process. It's a strong thought process. So you probably be like, no.
So let's talk. Let's get in it. No, you're good. I got you. Let's get in it. Let's hold up your book. And let's get in it. Betrothed to a Charlotte. What's it called?
Betrothed to a charlatan preacher. There was blood.
Betrothed to a charlatan. Look, I can't even spell. I'm so used to everything spell checking for me. Okay, I'm gonna okay, I got you. I'm gonna put it in the comments so people can see it and order it on Amazon.
Yes, I haven't did a book signing yet because I moved down here near Savannah.
All right, so let's talk about Betrothed to a Charlatan Preacher. How did that title come about? That's a strong. Well, I know how it came about, but other people may not know how that title came about. Because that's a strong title. What is betrothed? You know what I'm saying? Like that betrothed.
It's engaged. Engaged.
Engaged.
Yeah,
to
engaged to a
preacher.
fake preacher.
Woo!
Which is a fake preacher.
I just died.
And where we pull that. So I had a ghostwriter and they did the editing, they did everything. So we pulled when you look at the trial, I'll just read this part of what's on the front of the book. Mr. Okay. Pounds, I'm not going to dignify you by calling you Reverend Pounds. You did not earn that. You are a liar. You are a manipulator. And frankly, you are an outright charlatan. Bibb County Superior Judge Howard Z. Sims. That was when he was getting ready to sentence him.
Okay. And so who is
so
he
that's
to you?
Where?
Who
he
was he to you?
I was engaged to him. That his name is, I don't even think I want to
give him no credit. We'll call him,
right,
Mr. Charlatan Preacher. We don't have to give him
Mr.
a name.
Charlatan Preacher.
Charlatan Preacher. If y'all are that curious to know his name, you can Google it in Bibb County. So how? So you were engaged to the Charlatan
What
Preacher.
happened?
Mm-hmm.
The publisher with the book company sat down with me and said, "Let's go through your life, starting as your childhood, and see what led you to attract this murderer." Is how he put it to me. I said, "What do you mean, attract a murderer?" It's like, yeah, you attracted him, and it was based on what you did through your trials and tribulations, starting as a child, being called the names, the Blackie, Four Eyes, Ugly. From there, I was molested, and I was molested by. I lost. Oh, I thought I lost. I'm back.
You're here. You were molested by
a family member, and I told, but the family member didn't go away. He was still around, which I couldn't understand. I did, they say tell. So it took a minute, but I finally told. And I was only like 7 or 8 years old. Mm-hmm. So then that type of trauma and seeing domestic violence with my mom, one beating, I walked in on her and I didn't know what was happening, but my dad was beating my mom. She was balled up in a knot. And then I see her, she was barely 100 pounds. She was so tiny. And she's crawling around, picking up her hair rollers, them big sponge pink ones.
Yeah.
And so I was on the floor with her. I'm on the floor with my mom, picking up these rollers with her, and I'm crying. Like, okay, this is what love is. So then we go into my dating, and it showed the different men. I have had good men in my life, good men, but right. I would always stick to the violent ones, the ones who barely gave me any attention, because I didn't care about myself. I didn't love myself. And I started, he took me down roads I didn't want to go to. So now I'm going to fast forward to 2015. I was introduced to him through another officer. I guess, please don't.
You were introduced to him?
I was introduced to him through another police officer.
Okay.
He was in the Air Force. He was his last rank, I believe, was an E8. E7 or E8 in the military. So I was introduced to him that way. And so he lived in Macon. I lived in Atlanta. And so it was a long distance relationship. It was kind of all over the place. I was all over the place. So from 2005 to 2007, he really pursued me very, very hard. And then finally in 2007, we met and I decided, okay, let's give this a chance. And I saw all these signs. But by the time I realized what was going on, I was too invested mentally.
Yeah.
He would gaslight me a lot. I can see it now. He would gaslight me. I didn't even put in half the things that I went through with this person. And then he's put me in front of other women that he were introduced to me as friends because he was a preacher. He's up there on the pulpit preaching. I didn't even know he was a preacher for several months before. And at that point, we don't have sex. So you up there preaching about not having premarital sex, but we already have done this. So I didn't know he was a preacher. And when I found out, I was sick to my stomach, but I was so in love. My codependency got even worse with him. Mm-hmm. And being codependent, my children suffered. So women, you're going to start seeing that later on, your choices of what you did through your children. And I've seen the suffering and seeing them trying to heal themselves.
Right.
As I tried to heal myself. So walking to that day, because I know we're getting near the end.
You good,
that day
girl.
On June.
If they love you, they'll stay on.
June.
They'll stay on. You good.
That day
healing is in the conversations for me. So
May 31st.
You take what you need.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I will go to May 31st because he manipulated every woman in his family, his sister, his niece. And in the book, it goes into a lot of details. But I'm going to take y'all to May 31st of 2015. Now, he has already spoke to my stepfather, asked for my hand in marriage. We're getting, our date was set for September 12th, 2015. We met physically, saw each other September 12th, 2005. So it was going to be 10 years later that we actually was going to get married. Mm-hmm. 10 years. So around right after Thanksgiving of 2014, near Christmas, I get a phone call from the niece. We're talking back and forth. Something's not right. I have never just popped up at a man's house, but that night was the night it was going to happen. Now, mind you, I couldn't wear my hair short because he didn't like short hair. So I had to wear my hair long. So it was time the fight was on in my mind. So my hair was pulled up in a ponytail. I went and got my best friend, Winona. Her hair was pulled up in a ponytail. And we
not like them besties, girl. Besties right out, boy. Go ahead.
I rode from way up in Atlanta to Macon. Now he's on the phone with me, and then all of a sudden he wanted to hang up the phone. So I'm knocking on the door. His son answers the door. I say, "Is your dad here?" Because all his son goes, "Oh, I'm about to lose."
No, I said, what did his son say when he saw you?
Uh-oh. And I was like, he's in there. So I walk in. It's a condo. Now, I never knew where my best friend was, but she was posted up. She had sight on all locations of where you can get through. I walk around and I see her, and we're looking at each other. We knew each other. We had ridden to church with him together. I sat in the front. She sat in the back with her children. He said that she was a family friend. She was married, and she just comes to church to support him. I'm in the front with him. I knew I called him honey and baby, but that's how mentally he had broken her down, because he had had 3 children while they were together with other women. At one point, he had 3 women pregnant. This is all the homework I did after the fact. And so she was like, "Hey, Cindy." I said, "Hey, Kendra." I was like, "What is your relationship with?" Well, of course, I know it's something that is not right because it's her, him, and just the child. And she said, "Well, we're engaged." I said, "We're engaged as well." Now, mind you, I don't tattoo this man's name on my back. I had his name, William. Oh, shoot, I don't give his name. And I had his Charlatan, yes. And his line name was on my back. And believe me, the cover up was very painful, but I deserved the pain. So when I showed her, she showed me her ring. I showed her the tattoo. And then he woke up now. Hindsight, he could have took both of us out and made up a whole nother story that I came down there and shot her and he killed me because I shot her. All of that could have went down that night. So he was laying in his couch on his little sofa, pretending like he was asleep. And so her and I are not fussing at each other. And when she sees the tattoo, she goes and wakes him up. So I had a key to his house. She had a key to his house. And so I come to find out the key that I had, the little name tag, the number tag that was on the key, that it was purple because he was a Q, was her actual address on there. I never knew what those numbers were for until after the fact. So that's the 30, that was in 2014. Fast forward to we're in counseling. Now he's admitted to having being in cheating on me. Yeah. We're going to a therapy. Now we're at a therapist, marriage counseling, to get married June 12th. Well, it was still September 12th. So we're at a marriage counseling and we're going through this process. And then it gets really, really deep in between January to June 12th. Y'all got to read that in the book. It's really, really deep.
Yeah.
So May 31st was Pastor Appreciation. His sister had called me to ask me if I was going, because I was going to church with him every other Sunday because of the travel. And I was like, oh, I forgot, he had called me because his father had dropped dead back in March. And he was all upset about that. So I was like, okay, I'll come. I told her that I'm just going to come because I should be there. What'd that look like? I'm your fiance and you're being appreciated at the church. Well, after I get there, I'm sitting down in the pew and I was like, hey, babe, I'm here to support you. He texts me. They canceled everything. We're not even having it. They were upset about the money that they were going to spend. I'm sitting there looking around like, well, who are these people in this church with me then? Why am I looking at the pamphlet with your picture on it for Pastor Appreciation Day?
Right.
By the time that came through, I look up, Kendra walks in. She sits down. She has his youngest daughter who absolutely adored me. I've known her all her life. She runs and sits down next to me. Kendra sits down next to her. So we're sitting right there together. Church members, I'm sure that was a whole lot of conversation.
I'm sure.
And he's texting me and telling me to leave because his mother had failed. And he knows if something happens to his mother, I'm going to be there to help. So I text his sister who was sitting on the pulpit with the preacher. She said, no, mom's okay. My daughter is there with her. I told her I'm not going anywhere. That's over. Kendra got up one time to go to the back, probably trying to process. I'm just trying to hold it in. We get through all of that because she rode with him. I get in my car and I leave. And then that's when Kendra texts me. There's 3 sides of this story. And so this is May 31st. We text back and forth. And our text messages were actually used in the trial.
Right.
Where she had a voice to actually tell her story. It's ironic how our conversation went. It's almost told her story that when she left this earth, he was going to tell everybody she was crazy because he told everyone she had killed herself. And that's it lined up like that, even though that's not what we were talking about.
Correct.
But we did that. So we had kind of went back and forth, but we had agreed to get married on the 12th and continue counseling and really be, see, where was my mind? I went through all of this. I'm still willing to marry this man. That's how
a codependent and attached and in love
with him, but not myself.
In love with him. In love with him.
All of this happened. I get he was supposed to have been out of town preaching. He played the whole thing up because I lost my aunt, my mom's oldest sister. So I was out of town and we're discussing this. Then I had in-service at the police department. I was supposed to pick him up from Hartsfield and we were going to drive down. And I didn't think we were going to make it in time, but if we didn't, we were going to just do it another day. But my mind is the 12th. So when he called me at 1:06 a.m., my mind, where I go, oh, he's surprising me. He came home early. So we will make it in time. I don't have to pick him up from the airport. That's in my brain. He tells me Kendra just shot herself in his bedroom. In my head, I'm like, what? Weren't you in Dallas? But I guess you made it home in time. I don't know where my mind was. What do? Pack up my stuff, wake up my daughter, gotta leave, call my best friend Winona. This is like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Here I am going down to support him because he witnessed her killing herself. Why am I going?
And you're gonna be the supportive of the fiance.
And you got this woman in your house.
In your bedroom. Yeah.
And home. I'm like, is the police there? Because if I don't see no police, I'm not coming down there. So the story is all over the news. It's on Oxygen on accident, suicide, or murder. Yeah. The story is being told from the detective's point of view.
Correct. But it focuses on her murder, not necessarily. Yeah.
Yes.
On Oxygen. If you all want to watch it, I saw it. It's on Oxygen.
Season 3, episode 2. Now, let me tell you how broken I was. All this don't happen. I'm a lieutenant with the police department. Of course, I call my captain immediately in case this is newsworthy that my name is not attached to DeKalb County.
Correct.
And then the investigator was very caring to make sure my name did not get out there. So I'm a victim. Of course, they did all the checks and balances to make sure I wasn't involved. Where was I at? You could tell with my phone being, I don't know what this, I didn't know anything this stuff was happening. But yes, you'll see the story on that, on the show. But I went back to him. I believed she had killed herself because my mind was so distraught that I didn't want to live anymore. The embarrassment to my family, the embarrassment to the department.
Correct.
I started floating. I stopped eating, just going through this. And then I knew I started college in August. 2 or 3 weeks later, I had to start college. So at that point, I had to focus everything there. Now, I got straight A's. So from the beginning of my bachelor's degree to the end, right before I finished my last class, I was called, I had to testify in the trial. But I went back. And God, this is where I know he was working because I still wasn't seeing it. This is where my healing had to start through the pain. Because I went back. I supported him. He injured himself. I took care of him. Took him to the doctor's appointments, through the surgery. I truly believe at that point, not based on her, but it was based on me because I was so close to wanting to just end it all. Yeah. But that one, my daughter, whose father did that, I was not about to do that to her. So I had to fight through it. So then it gets a little deeper.
Yeah.
But I ended up seeing a lot of stuff was exposed to me during the
trial?
Before the trial.
Before the trial, okay.
Right, because he wasn't charged immediately. They were working it as a suicide.
Correct.
And then they started getting the evidence. And there's an audio tape of the 911 call that I heard afterwards. But just being in that room, and I remember looking at him one time and I had to blink my eyes because I literally saw an animal. I didn't see his face. I saw the weirdest looking. And I'm like, God said, okay, I just revealed to you.
Right.
You can see it. And
was that the moment you realized, okay, I gotta go.
I gotta figure it out. Because I got scared because he started getting where he was pulling. Because when I realized it, I was so scared of trying to figure out how to get away from him and not be alarming. because I was like, I got to go home to my children. I gotta finish school.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't care about that. I need you more. The kids will be fine.
Yeah.
My head.
So after you realize, okay, I'm in pain. You're no longer at the agency, the department. You've moved on from there. You've got this relationship that it's going to be done. Did you end the relationship before or after the trial?
Before. When he was indicted, because I went back into law enforcement. When he was indicted, I was able to find the policy that says that you cannot be associated with anyone while they're indicted or something to that effect. So I sent that to his family to leave me alone. But it was, he would email me. He was sending me letters. Every letter he sent me, I scanned it and I sent it to the detectives. But that's when they realized, once they knew, okay, she's gone, the ring is gone, everything, they showed me, they started talking to me differently. I got pulled. They wanted to send me a subpoena. I said, no, I'll come down and I'll talk to them. But everybody has started seeing and open their eyes. His team, I think not team, but it got a little detail. It's more that you're going to see actually in the trial.
Right.
But he had a lot of support initially. But the day of the trial, there was 4 people on his side, and it was really for them to be nosy.
Yeah.
To make sure
wanted to believe, because that's a letdown, not just for you, but for his church. These people that are following him in the church as well.
And his children.
And his children.
Yes, 6.
6 children. She had 3 children. 3 that are, without their mom. Then you have his children, and then even your children, if they built some kind of relationship with them too, right? So now that we have experienced all this hurt, all this pain, all this disappointment, you are still, wanting to help, wanting to be codependent, and you're realizing, okay, this is some bullshit. I got to let all this go. This got to go. What did you do to start the healing? Y'all, and I know we're a little past our time, but just if you could just hang on with me a little bit longer. How did you move past the healing? I mean, how did you begin the healing? What happened? What did you do?
Kaiser, diagnosed major depression. I'm sitting in a room with 9 other people. Not only my depression was so bad that I had to go into group intense therapy. I had to go 3 times a week. And if you missed the week or day, you had to make it up. You had to complete the program. And you had to have a good excuse not to be there. And I literally cried so many tears. I was like, I'm so tired of crying. But I cried 3 or 4 days straight. My eyes were swollen so bad. And just talking through what other people, they had us. It's an experience that I appreciate it, because they told me, you just think it's just from this incident. She went back all the way to my childhood.
Yeah.
Through the suicide, through the trauma of child molestation. She went through everything. I was in therapy because I lost my job. So I didn't have access to her for a minute. Then I went and got the exact same insurance. So from 2015 up until I went back to Kaiser again. So I was in therapy while I was at the college.
Right.
So yeah, I did about 5 or 6 years of therapy. Yes. And I was released. She was like, honey, you are beyond healed. So I was going through with her as I was writing the book, because she kept telling me, write a book, kept telling me to write a book.
Yeah. People often say, a lot of therapists will tell you to journal. They don't necessarily say write a book, but a lot of them will tell you to journal. I'm not good at the journaling thing. I always forget to do it. But they always recommend journaling. So you went through a lot. So you were experiencing depression. Of course, anyone is going to be depressed because you are feeling, lost. When you were in the depressive state, were you like unable to get out of bed? What were some of the symptoms that you were having?
I was on autopilot. I had to do it for my children. It's once again,
it's like a fault.
Right. There, I remember a guy coming up to me and he was like, "Can I get your phone number?" And I stopped and I looked at him. I said, "I'm too broken for you to even want to know what my name is." And he's like, "What?" I said, "I am broken." He said, "You know what, sister? I'm going to pray for you. I appreciate you. At least you could admit it." Yeah. And so that was the healing, that I was not afraid to say that. Yeah. I accepted what was going on, but I didn't want to eat. I had to push myself through school. I had to push myself through trying to be something for my children, but I know I wasn't there. Right. I know I wasn't there. People would see me smiling, but I was broken on the inside. It was a lot. I could go to my therapist and break down. Right. Then eventually meditation, joining a coaching group. When I said one thing that I did have that Kendra did not have was I had support from my family and my friends. They rallied around me, and that's what it took. Even though I was so far gone, even though I found out, I knew they didn't like them, but I really knew how much they didn't like them in the end. They stopped. Yeah. They kept praying for me. I found out they were afraid that he was going to kill me. I did not know that. Yeah. Though I do remember he put this 30-pound weight up above me on some type of flimsy thing that if he would have touched it, it would have fell and crushed my head. So I should have caught that. Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna community. You got even when you think she is that gone or he is that gone, you have to, if you just be present. If you can't say anything, sometimes you just have to be present and let them talk it and walk it through. But I was blessed. I was blessed to have praying friends, God friends, and just there was so many people praying for me. I didn't even know. I know I was ghost for a while. They were finding me on Facebook. You okay? Yeah. So now my story is there for someone else. Yep. My mission, my passion, my desire is to tell my story as raw as possible for someone else to get out. Some persons that have read my book, one girl's telling us, "Girl, if you can spill yours, I can spill mine and get it out and say I'm okay." It's okay not to be okay. It is okay not to be okay. It is. And I will live on that. I had a friend say to me, "You can only account for your now." I can only account for what's going on right now. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow's not here yet. So I live in the now. I meditate still, not as much as I used to. That meditation helps a whole lot. But I listen to soothing music or some positive motivation every morning when I get up. I got to hear it. I got to hear it. I get a routine. I am going back on my weight, well, not weight, but healthy diet, getting back into the gym. Because me and my bad knees, I fall out the gym a lot. But if I could end it how I need to end it, there is just something that was already ordained in my life to go through. There was nothing I could do or path I could have taken. This was for me. And I mean, I thank God that he used me. I am very thankful because he knew the strength. And one of my favorite songs is "The Soul of a Woman" by Johnny Gill. But he knew the strength. And he knew the strength as he set in me. As he set in me. Because it's not just, it wasn't me. It was God that tucked me through that. Because some people's like, well, why wasn't it you? I said, that's the question you got to ask God. Yeah. And one lady was like, through all of that, you can still smile. You're not angry at the world. Why would I be angry if this was what God ordained for me to go through?
Yeah.
I'm thankful.
Yeah. Cindy, you have like an amazing story. You all need to get her book, Betrothed by a Charlatan Preacher. And she just gave y'all the surface of what's in the book. It's a lot. I haven't read it yet. Y'all know I'm an audio person. Until she put it on an audio book. I need an audio book, baby.
Believe it or not. Y'all radio told me.
Need an audio.
Okay. Okay.
The work that you have done, it's radiant. It's infectious. I have watched you through this entire. I met you in 2005 at the pumps, as becoming a new sergeant. That's how I met you. I have watched your journey this entire time. You know, it's a blessing that you have the village that you have, because I've seen you with that village the entire time I've known you. And that's just the portion that I know, because then people worked with us. So I know that village. But I've watched you grow. I've watched all of this. I've watched this amazing transformation. I remember when I first heard this story, I was like, my God, I don't know. Do you text somebody? Do you call somebody? I sent a text because I didn't know what to do. But I felt your pain. I felt this girl's about to be broken, because I knew how she loved this joker. I knew. But not just with him. I mean, it's been a lot of situations in different relationships and different things and incidences that has happened in your life, testimony, things that you can testify to. But I've watched you grow, and I always knew that you would be on top, because you were always found a way to put yourself on top. So I am always praying for you, my friend, because you were there for a sister. You threw a sister a baby. Y'all, she threw me a baby shower, y'all. I had never got so many gifts in my life with all them kids. Y'all know I got 5 kids. I ain't never got that many gifts before from no baby shower. She had men coming through my baby shower with strollers and everything. Like, my baby shower was lit. You remember that? They came through with them strollers, man. The team came through for a sister. So she's always had a giving heart, and I hope you still continue to have a giving heart. That this situation didn't harden it, but I do understand the boundaries and saying no. And from looking at all the comments on here, people are saying that they can heal from your story. There's a lot of women like us out here. There's a lot of yous out here. There's a lot of people that go through things in relationships and are broken and don't come back. But if you all look at Cindy, y'all see she didn't bounce back, right? Y'all see she done left us out here in Atlanta. She done bounced back. She keeps her hair fly. She, got her face. She's always been beautiful. So she's gonna bounce back. And so people, I want you to understand, and I want you to see that it's possible. You don't have to stay broken. She did the work. It's not an easy thing. You got to be willing to do the work to heal. If you want to heal, you can. You see, she said 5 years. 5 years. So you got to be willing to do the work and get unstuck and make life better for you. Let me throw these last comments up here. Thank you for telling your story. You know who that is.
Oh,
you know who that is? Oh, okay. Me either. But she gave you some heart, whoever she is or he is. It's awesome. Meditation is your chance to listen to God and not talk. Sometimes we just need to be still and be quiet. God is so good. You are absolutely correct. correct Renee.
Yes.
Great job. Hold on, I skipped one. I'm sorry. Great job, Cindy. Proud of you. You know who that is?
My bestie. Here come my next bestie,
Yep.
Denise.
Keep telling your story. You are helping so many people. Yes, we are proud of you, Cindy. So you have such a great support system. Oh, Renee gave you some laughs. Sonia Porter. Yes, Renee. So, you have a great support system.
Yes,
I
she's
think you
another
need to
support
keep.
system.
Before I let you go, do you want to share your events that you have coming up? I know you mentioned a couple of things that you have coming up. You want to talk about that right quick?
Well, I'm not sure if it's closed yet.
Okay.
I'm speaking at Spread the Love. TLC is actually on a cruise. So we're going to cruise July the 27th to the 31st, but I am slotted to speak on the mental health. And I'm definitely going to have my books on hand and sign.
Absolutely.
And anybody
Yeah.
that wants,
When you going to do that book signing, ma'am?
it's coming very
Gotta
soon.
get that book signing. Gotta get that book signing. More fire said proud of you.
Okay.
Hand claps. So yeah, so this was great. And I do appreciate you so much for giving me an hour and some change of your time and sharing your story. I so appreciate it. Thank you so much for saying yes to me. Y'all, I'm trying to grow this thing, right? I'm really trying to build this thing up. I really want people to know that mental health is here. It exists.
Mm-hmm.
None of us are exempt from it, but we don't have to live unhappy with it. Like, we can be successful, we can live great lives, we can be happy with mental health, right? All we got to do is work on it. So my goal is to share. This is why I created this platform. I believe healing is in the conversations. You are always going to hear me say it. I got that from my podcast mentor, Ursula, who will be on next week. That healing is in the conversations, y'all. The only way that we can get the shame taking off of mental health, the stigma taking off of mental health, is to talk about it, to let it be known, to show you what it can look like. This woman right here, this woman was suffered from depression. Look at her. She's fabulous. She's fine. She's 50 ?
I'll be 56 this year.
She'll be 56 this year. This is what 56 looks like, y'all. So it don't have to, it can look any kind of way. Mental health don't have a prototype. Any of us are one event, one trigger from going through something major in our lives, right? But I want you to see, and I want you to share with people that, hey, we can live successfully with it. So if you all can do me a huge favor, please subscribe, like, and share my platform. Please subscribe, like, and share so I can build up this following to to let people see, hey, mental health is real and we can live good with it, right? If you would like to be a guest on the show, y'all can hit me up on my email. You can call me. You can hit me up on all my social medias. You can inbox me. You can do whatever it is that you need to do. You can refer a friend, tell a friend, whatever it is you want to do. And you want to share your story because you believe that you have a testimony that someone can heal from. Hit your girl up. This platform is wide open. Now, I only do it on Wednesday nights because that's the only day I'm available. But if y'all want to be on, let me know. I would love to have you as a guest on the show. So just remember to tune in next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. My girl Ursula will be on. Y'all gonna get your chakras in line talking with Ursula because she loves to talk. She's a life coach. She's gonna talk to you about meditation. She's gonna talk to you about all that good stuff, that holistic healing that y'all, new generation folks love to talk about and learn about. Tune in next Wednesday. Cindy, stand by for me. I'm going to end this show. Hey, I will see you all next Wednesday, and you all enjoy your week. Have a good one. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.